Hello everyone, I hope your semester is ending okay. I'm sorry I didn't get this video out a little sooner. I've been a little under the weather the last couple weeks. Nothing too serious though, just a little bit. Yeah. But in any case, I wanted to talk a little bit about the final, right, which should be open now. You should see it. Now, if you were in the learning support, that's two finals you have to take. You'll know if you were because you had two class sessions, right? So the English 1010, it's post test under assessments. You can do that whenever. I would like you to do it by Thursday night, right, to get it done. That way it's finished, and if you have any problems getting in there, you can contact me and let me know. And we have time before grades are due because, once Friday comes, I only have a little bit of time to turn in the reports. I will accept work until the 8th of May at midnight, right? So, the earlier you get it in, obviously, the better, but I'll accept work from the whole semester, right? If you haven't turned something in, I can't promise that you're going to get 100 or anything on like that, but I will grade it, right? And so there's no reason at all to flunk the class as long as you can turn in those major essay components. So if you have any questions or concerns or really don't know what to do, please contact me. Now, I gave you an assignment that I thought would be fun, that Mickey the Pomeranian one. Now, it had a lot of things wrong with it, right? The last paragraph was overwritten. The first paragraph was underwritten in such a way that it just said, oh, dogs are similar and different to each other. How can you make something like dogs an interesting topic with specific examples? So, if you're looking historically, one interesting thing is that Queen Victoria, right, during her lifetime, she really liked that breed, the Pomeranian, and she bred it down in her life from like 25 pounds to like half that, 10, 12 pounds during one person's life because she was so influential and so important. She could do that and affect the entire breed. And so that would be one way, to start it, to talk about like how one person can change an entire kind of subgroup and their characteristics there, which I think is pretty interesting and more specific than just, oh, they're fluffy, right? They're white and they don't cost a lot of money. The logical fallacies, we would have had more fun with that in class if you'd seen it, right? Some of them are obviously like an ad hominem, like anybody who owns Pomeranians is a little whatever. They can say bad things about the person. So I just wanted you to get some practice because a lot of the logical fallacies that occur in argumentative writing are pretty easy to see when you think about it, right? A lot of these political things hinge on that ad hominem. We want to kind of stay away from those in our writing. Some of you have already turned in your final argumentative essay. I'm not going to make you redo anything like that. If there's something I say now, you can hopefully take it into the future here. I apologize for getting this out so very late. But some of the things that you want to think about are, is this logically consistent, right? I gave you like 4 sample essays under the reading, and they all had big problems with them logically, right? One just kind of assumed that the school year should go year round because we don't really live in an agrarian agricultural society anymore. Well, guess what? Some of us still do, right? So why do we need this long school year? Does it actually make a difference in test performance? What's the actual bottom line we need to look at? We need test assessments. We need data to compare national performance. Now, there are other variables involved, though. So, for example, culture is one of those things, right? Some cultures really prioritize you have to do very well in this, or you're not my child, right? I had a friend who lived across the hall from me, I think, sophomore year in college, and he was having problems with engineering. Kevin Lin, Chinese family, and his father basically said, "Look, you will be an aerodynamic engineer, or I will not pay for your school." In fact, there's even the threat that he's like going to disown him. And when Kevin changed his major to business, right, just he tried to hide that from his father, and his father found out, and he didn't intercept one grade report in time from coming to his house, and his father was like, "Why are you taking business classes? What's going on here?" And so, like, there was a very real threat that he wasn't going to be able to continue college just because of the cultural priorities there. That were set in place. So it's not just test performance, right? There are other variables that you could talk about when you consider, oh yeah, this group over here has year-round school and they have higher. Well, is that true of every place that has year-round school? Are there other variables you need to consider? What are the cultural priorities in place there? So there's more than one way to look at that. The other thing is, how much does it cost in some places to have year-round school? So for example, in Arizona, like Havasu, where my parents live, in the summer, sometimes it's up to like 118, 125 degrees. How much does it cost to keep it cool enough for the whole school to actually be kind of cooled with power in session all the time. That's expensive. Is there enough right funds for that, or is it more economical just to have that 9 month out of the year during more temperate times? Now that's obviously not a concern everywhere, but in some places it is. So there's a lot of ways to look at things, and obviously, right, you can appeal to emotions, pathos, you can appeal to logic, make well constructed arguments, and you can appeal to ethos with good quality sources, right? Not just random sources there. So hopefully you'll incorporate some of those things in your final argumentative papers. Um, I really don't have too much to add at this particular point, but please feel free to contact me with any questions that you do have about them. Hopefully you feel fairly comfortable writing, and like I said, the most important components to finish if you're a little behind in the course, those essays, right? Those are huge percentages of the grade. Finish the essays, and then you can worry about the rest as you have time to for the week. I don't want you to panic, right, about, oh, I have 10 worksheets to do. Well, do the essays, right? Do the essays and turn those in. Now, a quality argumentative essay finds a hook that engages the reader at the start, right? And then the conclusion kind of fulfills the promise. That doesn't mean that every single bit of information that you put needs to support your conclusion. Sometimes the best arguments allow for exceptions or say, hey, maybe we should consider this. This is a great point. So maybe this program will cost more money, but it'll be worth it because we're going to do this, this, and this as well, and that outweighs the cost or something like that. And so, as I said, there are certain arguments that I feel are more worthwhile to make than others, but good sound logic doesn't make everything a slippery slope where if we don't do this, it's going to be a disaster, right? You need to give more specific details than that. You need to have some hook that's not completely generic, right? That doesn't just kind of say, hey, this is important. Why is it important? What specifically are you arguing, and what are the stakes involved there? And obviously, any of the previous strategies that we used over the course of the semester, right? Exposition, definition, comparison, contrast, process analysis, cause and effect, all those can have place in academic writing as well, right? So I just wanted you to kind of do that. One of the things that I also want to stress, I tend to like, in addition to the hook that grabs the attention and introduces the topic, I tend to like you just doing something rather than saying you're going to do it. So I really don't like the statements that say, this paper will attempt to prove this, this, and this. Just state it, right? Make the assertion. You're making a claim that can be argued. So the final actually does deal a lot with questions of like assertions, right, that are opinion based versus fact based assertions. So if I said it's 85 degrees outside right now, I mean, I don't know what degree it is outside there, but let's assume I checked, right? That's a fact. You can't really argue it, right? You can measure it, right? And you can say you have an error in your thermometer or something like that, but it's not really something that can be argued. But I could say, oh, this sweltering heat is terrible for livestock and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, you could argue that certain types of livestock might thrive in this particular environment here, but you would need some evidence to do that. So just kind of keep those things in mind as you're writing your argumentative essay. I hope that this switch hasn't really been too traumatic and stressful for you. And if you have any questions, right, I'm here to answer them. Please contact me. I appreciate your patience. This course was not designed at all to be in any kind of online modality. And so I apologize for not giving you more videos and more feedback and things like that as we've gone along there. But please remember, right, I will accept any work that you want to turn in by May 8th, right, the end of the day there, because I have to turn in grades just like a few days after that, right? So I'll accept it as long as I possibly can. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll try to address them or answer them. So focus on the big essays. Good luck with everything. I hope everyone is well and healthy, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to, finish out the semester with more hands-on instruction. I think when I do this next semester, if I have to do online, I'm going to incorporate some mandatory Zoom sessions. Maybe not every single class, but for some of them. And I probably should have done that this time, but I was hoping that it was self-explanatory enough that you could find the assignments and do them. So thank you for your patience with everything, and good luck. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys soon. Take care.